Welcome to the JunkYard Rat Show, live from beautiful San Francisco, California. You know, like it was 420, but every other day in San Francisco is Fentanyl Day. And today, I got Ryan Rodriguez, who's a host of Retro Junker. How you doing, Ryan?
Doing great. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. Is this your first podcast, or?
No. This is I think my third.
Have you ever thought about doing a podcast, or?
I have actually. I wanted to do a couple of different podcasts. I've had ideas for, just never had the knowledge or know how to actually set all this stuff up. So I let you guys do the work on that.
Yeah. I don't know how to run podcasts. Thank God for this station. I mean, yeah, podcasts are fun. I've had one for about a year now. How was your 420?
Pretty good. Did 2 shows that night. Got a little toasty, had some edibles, and I think I fell asleep watching some comedy movie that I forget the name of now. So.
Oh yeah, I think I'm still high for 420. I mean,
I'm feeling a little residual, maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
I carried on into 421 and 422. So.
I went to a couple SF Weed Week events. They had a SF Weed Week. They're like free events, and but it was kind of boring because legally the dispensaries aren't allowed to give out any free weed because of the new law that was passed.
Yeah.
Thanks to our beautiful governor, our governor. Boo, yeah. But they had the main shows were in the art gallery. So in the art gallery, you can give out any free shit you wanted. Okay. But I was too lazy. But I went to, have you been to Spark? I went to the new Spark.
I haven't been there yet.
Yeah, I went to the new Spark on Polk Street. And you can't even smoke inside. Spark used to be like my kick because they used to be on Mission and they had a bunch of volcanoes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I used to kick it there. You didn't have to like buy anything to use the volcanoes. So to me, it was kind of sad what happened.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like it felt like they robbed my youth. They took away my youth and stuff. But you can't smoke weed anymore? Or?
I can't. I had a severe bacterial pneumonia back in 2022. And they had to go in, and I almost died. It was some life support and everything. It was crazy, but yeah, like
at John Muir.
I was at John Muir in Concord. I had I have like 60% functionality in one lung now, so I gotta cut out the smoking. But so I'm just on edibles and life now.
That's pretty good. Like, you eat a lot of edibles, or?
No, it's like I do the 10 milligram. I'm such a lightweight. Like even when I was smoking, I was like two hits of a joint and I was gone. But like right now, I'm 10 milligrams, and have a couple of those a day, and I'm good.
What dispensary you go to? Is there a main one? Or?
I actually have a friend who delivers. I get it from her, so. She has her friend who has a dispensary, so it's all hush undercover.
No, but
I don't know why, because it's legal. I can tape it to my forehead, literally, but
I mean, delivery, you can deliver legally.
Yeah.
Anybody can have a delivery company these days.
Hmm.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy. So was it COVID that you ended up in the hospital for? Or?
No, no. Surprisingly, it was just a bacterial pneumonia. Like something shut down my immune system so much that my my body couldn't fight off any bacteria, and it got into my lungs and just kind of festered.
Oh yeah. It's crazy because yeah, I went to a sesh that I go to like on a weekly basis called the Fire Market.
Hmm.
It's up on MacArthur and stuff, but there's no ventilation in this place, and it was so smoky that even my hair smelled like weed smoke and stuff, you know. And sometimes I wonder if I should be in there because there's just so much weed smoke inside and stuff.
Sometimes I miss going to those places. Like I was telling you, did a dispensary in Las Vegas a couple years ago, and it was just so. There were about 60 people in the room, and everybody had something lit, and you couldn't see 5 feet in front of you. It
Uh,
was I could not see the audience, and they didn't ventilate the room at all. Like they just kept it going for like 45 minutes, and then finally, they let a couple of windows open and opened the door, and we were finally able to see some stuff.
uh,
How was it? Did you get a contact high?
Oh, yeah, I was beyond contact. I think it's probably top 5 highest I've ever been in my life.
Well, I don't know. Depending on if you're a certain age, right? I don't know if any of you guys are of that age, but we used to hotbox cars.
Oh yeah.
Get in a car. Don't you dare open a window. Don't you dare open the door. And if you have to get out to take a pee or whatever, you better close it really quick.
Funny thing is, I actually when I was 17, I think,
Right.
I got a gun pulled on me for threatening to open a window during a hotbox
did
session.
you really?
Stoners with a gun. Not a good idea.
Not a good idea, but it happened.
Yeah.
What kind of hot boxing was that? Was it weed or?
Yeah, it was hotboxing. We were in a 1981 Cadillac Eldorado with like old school where you could actually roll down the window on your own. But
A crank window, yeah.
yeah, we had there was 4 guys. We were all just passing a couple blunts back and forth, and then I got to the point where I was like, just I couldn't take it, so I'm opening the window. The guy pulls a gun out and goes, "You open that window, and your brains are gonna be all over." I'm like, "Okay, I'm sorry."
That's crazy. So you grew up in Oakland or?
I did. I grew up in East Oakland.
East Oakland. I think that's where my sesh is.
Yeah.
It's yeah, way up there on.
But I don't want to. Don't get it twisted. Like I grew up in East Oakland, but I have zero street cred. Like
You don't got street.
I passed so much for a white kid that it was unbearable. Like the only thing Mexican about me was my last name.
Well, they did name you Ryan.
They did.
Ryan's not the kind. I don't think I know any Mexicans named Ryan.
There's very few of us. We're a dying breed. See, I'm actually Mexican and Hawaiian, so my dad was the one who named me. He said he didn't want me to learn Spanish because he thought it was going to be a dead language in 10 years. Obviously, he never went through a drive-through.
Yeah. Half the world speaks Spanish now.
I know, right?
I do. I was born in Chile. I'm from South America. I speak my first language was Spanish, but Spanish is blowing the fuck up, you know.
Yeah, man. Don't sleep on it.
I keep trying to find somebody to have a show in Spanish just so I could show off. Because in October I went to Chile for 3 weeks. I didn't even speak English, even though all my cousins they know English because out there in school they teach you French and English.
Yeah.
When you're a little kid and stuff, yeah.
I say this in my shows all the time. It's like I am the worst Mexican ever. I barely speak the language. I don't eat the food, and I have car insurance. It's horrible. Like I can't pass. I think the only thing Mexican about me is I had 3 kids before I was 25. Like that was
All with
it.
the same mom?
No,
Okay.
No.
Okay.
See?
You're keeping up the tradition.
I'm keeping up the tradition, right?
Well, there's only one way to tell if you're really Mexican. Are you carrying hot sauce with you?
If it's in my car right now, that's in the shop, but I do have hot sauce normally everywhere I go.
Which one do you carry? Tapatica? Or
It's tapatio, absolutely.
Tapatio.
There's no other like fuck sriracha and whatever else, what other sauce they. I don't know even. I don't even look at the sauce aisle. I just look for the hat.
My stepmother is Mexican, and my dad told me never believe a Mexican who tells you something is not spicy.
Right.
And I don't go to Mexican restaurants because I tell them I don't like it spicy, and they look at me like, oh, must be gay. He's gay.
Well, Tapatio must be good because basically, what is it? Frank's Red Hot Sauce is Tapatio with a redneck name on it.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Somebody actually gave me Frank's Red Hot Sauce. I'm like,
It's Tapatio.
like this is tapatio. What are you talking about? He's like, no, dude, it's Frank's. And I'm like,
Yeah, no.
nah.
It's almost. I bet you it's almost made it the same.
It's
place.
it's pretty close. Like I could barely taste the difference.
It's
but-
it's a little bit more, not spicier. Just has more flavor. Like they
It
put
just
more
has-
of the.
it's got a little bit more like zing. Like it's got that like kind of tartness to it.
It's like a maybe a little more concentrated
Yeah.
than Tapatio.
They put hot sauce in everything, like ice cream.
yeah.
I went to like a Mexican supermarket one time, and they had a bunch of watermelons sitting out to try. I had no idea the fucker thing had fucking hot sauce in it, and I was like, damn, they put hot sauce in the
Oh, dude, we'll put hot sauce on everything.
Ah.
So when food is brought to you, either at your home or a guest home or whatever, or at a restaurant, do you reach for any condiment, like even like Tapatio or whatever, before you even taste the food?
Oh yeah, no, yeah. It's not even. It's like the extra ingredient. It's not a. It's the ingredient that has not been put in yet.
And even if they put it in, so like I always grab black pepper,
Uh-huh.
and I'll shake black pepper on almost anything I ate.
hmm
And my wife's like, "You haven't even tasted to see if it has enough pepper for you." And I'm like, "If they made it regular, there's not enough pepper for me."
So here's what we do. We will order it we'll order, like, let's say we get a couple of tacos. We're gonna, okay, we get a taco. Make sure you put the hot sauce on it, and they'll come with the hot sauce before we even take a bite out of it. Grab the tapatio.
Yep.
we're putting it on there
That's the same
because
thing with me and pepper. Exactly.
They ask me like when I go to Taco Bell, KFC, and they're like, "Would you like some hot sauce?" And I'm like, "Yeah, give me a little packet." But I never like eat hot sauce. But I'm like I'm embarrassed to say no. So
right.
and they're like, "Would you like some hot sauce?" I'm like, "Fuck, bring it on! I'm a real man. Give me the." But yeah, like we went to a barbecue place with my stepmom, and my dad one time, and they had like 8 rows of sauces for the barbecue. She's like, "Give me the spiciest thing."
Was I had to flavor my food, especially when I was younger, because I have the only Mexican mother in the world that can't cook.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. She lost it somewhere in translation, but my mom uses the smoke alarm as an oven timer. Like it's bad, man. Like
Me too. I like to burn shit. Mainly because I like to hide the weed smoke.
yeah,
My mom doesn't like because in Walnut Creek it's a no smoking city.
yeah.
So I mean I was living there before the law went into effect.
Mhm.
I think I should be grandfathered into the
Yeah,
law.
definitely.
Well, my mom is like, she doesn't like weed smoke, so I burn bread and shit.
Shit.
But then she got mad at that. Yeah, I used to burn cheese. Cheese is like the best thing to burn. Like,
I remember my mom was cooking soup one time. I don't know how she did it. She was just boiling the water, and the whole stove set on fire. It was weird. I don't know how she did it, but she burnt water.
that is crazy. I never set anything on fire. I was at a Christmas party years ago, and these dudes decided to put like a candle on top of a gas stove for some weird
Oh
reason.
God.
It was like 3 a.m, and they went to sleep. And my friends and I, we were still like kicking it. And the stove caught on fire.
Gee.
The wax went inside the stove,
Oh.
and thank God we were up because it would have
Yeah, that could have been really
It would have
bad.
been bad. Yeah. So yeah, the whole hot sauce. Yeah, like I don't go to any Mexican places by myself because they always ask me like, "What do you like hot sauce?" I'm like, "Yeah." But yeah, I'm like, I don't want any hot sauce.
So out of all the things my mom like can't cook, the one thing she can throw down on is her hot sauce. So my mom's hot sauce is not only the best tasting, but it's the hottest. It literally I can't explain how she does it, but I've seen people who like do these ghost pepper challenges and they're like, cool, eat my
Yeah.
mom's hot sauce and it's too much for them. Like I don't know how she does it,
Uh,
but it's fire, but it's also fire.
have you been to what's the name of that club in San Mateo? The one they do comedy at that bar.
The
Yeah,
swinging door, yeah,
they got a burger. It's like the hottest burger in America.
yeah.
They claim only 20. I was watching a TV show on spicy foods,
Mhm.
and they're like, "We're in the Bay Area this week," and then they end up at the swinging door.
Yeah.
And I've been to the swinging door. I had no idea they had something like that. You know.
I can't even attempt to do that shit. It's like I'm like, even though yeah, I love hot sauce and I love I love eating spicy stuff, but it's like I can't. I'm 42 years old. I can't take it. My stomach can't take that shit anymore.
I don't even know how they eat that shit. I mean, people like the taste, but is there any taste? I just like
See, that's the thing. You have to have. You can't just have hot and no taste because that's like it's just dumb. It's like it's just those are people who are just gluttons for punishment. They just love pain. They're masochists.
yeah. When I was a kid, we were in some farm, and my grandfather gave me a pepper to try, and
Mhm.
it looked nice and juicy, and I think that was the beginning of like I don't want to deal with this shit.
But it's just hot for no reason.
Yeah.
And there's no taste to it. It's just you bite into it and it's like licking fire. There's no point to it.
Have you been to Boneheads or?
No.
It's like a barbecue place in Lafayette. It's really damn
Okay.
good. It's expensive though, but
I can imagine it's Lafayette. Everything in Lafayette's expensive.
Yeah, Lafayette is crazy. Have you been to the wine festival they got in Lafayette?
I have actually, yeah. Lovely town, but yeah, it's very, very expensive.
Yeah, a friend of mine lived. He lived in Lafayette for a while.
I actually run shows in Lafayette, so
Yeah, where are your shows at in Lafayette?
so I have a big one coming up on May 2nd at the Town Hall Theater, and it's a 180 seat venue. We've got Dennis Gaxiola. He's going to be headlining.
Oh yeah,
for us.
yeah, I know Dennis. He's big time.
Yeah, he's huge. He's got he's been all over the world. He's been on TV. He's been on tour with Fluffy and all these guys. So yeah, we're really excited to have him come out and headline our show for us, and I think he's going to be really good for the Lafayette community. That's what we do. Like Bay Area Comics, the company that I work for, are that I'm partnered with. We go into towns that don't have a comedy scene. So like we started out in Vallejo. There's very little comedy scene out there.
Mm-hmm.
We came in there and we opened up 3 different venues. We've got a theater show out there at the Empress. We've got a couple of regular shows going out there. We had one at Napa Smith's, and then we also have one at Bambino's. But yeah, we go all over the Bay Area, just wherever there's no comedy scene or very light comedy scene.
Mm-hmm.
We're putting it in there. We're trying to beef it up and trying to get people laughing in a place where they're usually not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Vallejo's not far from where I live. Like that's where like the Six Flags is in Vallejo, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, you do a show at the Retro Junker too, and
So I have a show coming up at Retro Junkie on Cinco de Mayo.
yeah, Cinco de Mayo.
So we have a Chicano comedy jam going. It's Mexi King is going to be headlining. We got Mean Dave. I think Rudy Ortiz is going to come down and do a little bit of a guest spot. We've got Johnny Rios, myself. I'll be hosting. Jen Peardant, who's hilarious. Ashley Monique, who's hilarious as well. Actually, me and Ashley just got both entered into the San Francisco comedy competition. So.
Oh yeah, congratulations! When does that start?
I think in September. That's what John Fox was saying. But I think somewhere August, September, somewhere around the line.
Yeah, the audition thing they do these days is new. Like,
Yeah, so they're doing it at Emma's in I think San Rafael. So they have a show once a month where they have 3 comics that go audition to be on the competition, and then they'll pick yes or no whether they pass that. I did mine. I was actually did the first one, and all 3 of us got entered in. So that was cool.
oh yeah, that's funny. My friend he went to a Giants game with John Fox last year,
Oh yeah.
but he didn't realize that the time was changed. my friend didn't even know. I guess they moved it to like 5 p.m. It was like, and my friend showed up like at 1. He didn't even know. He's like, what? Where the hell's the game? He had no idea. Nobody told him. I'm like, yo, what?
Pobrecito. He's
Yeah.
waiting out there.
And he does like he does a Zoom show Sunday nights.
Oh, okay.
So he had to leave early. He was really upset. He's like,
I bet.
I'm like, you gotta look these things up. You can't just decide that.
It's not like a movie theater. You can't just go there and
Yeah.
be like, okay, well, there'll be another showing of this. No, the game is now.
Yeah. I mean, do they even give you a paper ticket? Yeah, like a paper ticket, huh?
They still have paper tickets.
I guess they
I
do.
thought they do email stuff now.
I
That's
don't know.
crazy.
I assume it was a paper ticket because email they can change the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was upset with that stuff. Yeah, the retro junker. Yes, like it's in my city. Yeah, I used to go there. I used to perform at the place that was before the retro junker.
WPLJs, yeah.
Yeah, I love that place. It was really. I like the whole '50s diner thing.
Yeah, so it was like a speakeasy, the WPLJs, and then the new owner Enrique, he came in, changed it to Retro Junkie. Now it's got like this Scarface 1980s theme. Like it's a place where like you should be able to do cocaine legally. Like it's
Well, yeah, they got Corey Feldman on there.
oh yeah, no,
Doesn't Corey Feldman perform there? one
so
time?
many like celebrities have like 80s celebrities especially, and like 80s and 90s. Corey Feldman, the lead singer of Green Day, just came in on a Thursday night and was like, hey, can I start singing some songs? Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah.
Put your name on the list.
Yeah,
Oh,
put your name
yeah.
on the list, we'll see if we can get you on.
Let's squeeze you in somehow.
On karaoke
I
night.
actually when I was doing comedy out there, I got to open for Chris Farley's brother, Kevin Farley.
Oh yeah.
And Chris Farley is like one of my all-time idols. So I was giddy to be able to do this show. And I had so much fun. Like Kevin is such a good dude.
Is he funny though?
He is.
Oh,
Like
okay.
you would think like you would think like his whole set is just talking about his memories with Chris, but it's not. He's actually hilarious.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have the same mannerisms or stick.
No, he doesn't. He like
you can tell he's related because there's the physical resemblance.
there's the physical resemblance, but that's about it.
About it, right?
Yeah.
So
No, he's definitely has his own style. He's not the he's actually very calm. He's not the yelling and the gesturing that Chris Farley usually does.
I
He has
think
a couple of
that's a really
brothers.
smart thing for relatives of really famous performers.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter if you're an actor. You think about Charlie Sheen and Martin Sheen, right?
Yeah.
You think about those guys. They did it on their own terms. It's all their own style. Blah blah blah.
Charlie Sheen definitely went
Charlie
his own
Sheen.
way.
Yeah, I guess I could have used Emilio instead, right?
Emilio Estevez.
Well,
yeah.
I mean,
So I guess what I'm saying is, if you have to follow in someone's footsteps, you shouldn't you shouldn't try to mimic them. It's kind of cool if you have some of the same traits and characteristics. Like I worked for years with George Carlin's brother.
Okay.
And if you listen to him, you're like, oh yeah, you could tell that's George Carlin's brother.
Yeah.
Some of the same nomenclature, the stuff they would talk about, the same point of view on a lot of things, but then other stuff was like 180-degree turn.
Yeah.
I'm friends with Bill Hicks's brother on Facebook, and I see that he looks at my flyers once in a while. I'm like, that's weird. Thinking Bill Hicks's brother's looking at my flyer. And I kept thinking, this can't be Bill Hicks's brother. This is because he doesn't have that many friends or followers,
but his brother wasn't famous. He has a brother and a sister that were non-comedians or actors or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Sam Kinson's brother was his manager for a while.
He was. And matter of fact, even when I met, I've talked to Bill Kinnison. He's very Kinnison-esque.
Yeah.
Same thing with Patrick Carlin. He's very Carlin-esque.
Right.
You can kind of hear it. You can kind of hear with Patrick, it was the cadence. It was almost like, oh yeah, you could tell that these two are brothers and there's only a few years difference. And there was a real similarity.
Yeah.
But even if you watch George Carlin's daughter, totally different.
The 7 dirty words you can't say on podcast. Trump, Donald Trump, Trump 2024.
I'm not going to pay my station dues. These are things you cannot say on a podcast.
You know what? I am ready. I'll tell you what. I am ready for November 2024.
I know, me too.
Not the election. I'm talking about Thanksgiving. Like,
I thought you meant
no, my relatives come over. We do a tamale cook-off. We have plenty of hot sauce. We're good.
You gotta invite me for. I had a friend in high school.
Come through, man. It's in Martinez. Come through.
300 tamales and stuff.
I seen George. I saw they drew a. You're talking about Tapatio. I saw them do a Trump Tapatio.
Did they?
It's like really. Even Fluffy had that for a while. He had his own face on Tapatio.
He did
with his dog.
Yeah,
with one of his little chihuahuas.
He did
because he had that joke, that running joke for a long time that. He thought his dad was the Tapatio
guy, yeah.
Fluffy pissed me off because he had a show in Dodger Stadium on my 50th birthday, exactly.
And he didn't invite you?
He didn't invite me.
Son of a bitch.
On my so every time it's like, people think, what was your 50th birthday? Like, I'll show you. You can watch
Fluffy. If you can hear this, if you can hear the sound of my voice, you dissed my boy. How could you do that?
You can watch Fluffy do a set on my birthday. In Dodger Stadium.
I'm sorry, Fluffy. Don't pay attention to anything I said. Please book me.
Yeah.
I think it's part of the Netflix as a joke.
I'll carry your chihuahua for you.
Oh, yeah.
I will carry anything you want. Join the Illuminati for you.
Fluffy's
whatever.
Cool. But I could tell, like, Fluffy's probably sitting around afraid he's going to say something that's going to get him in trouble. Because he's hella clean. Like,
oh, yeah.
You know, he doesn't.
He's cleaned up his. He's like every show gets a little cleaner and cleaner and cleaner. Like,
yeah,
he's kind of turning into Sinbad.
Sinbad doesn't like being dirty at all and stuff. On 420, I got some Richard Pryor weed. I don't.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I got some weed, but it just.
Why is it Richard Pryor? Is that just? It was like what is it? What is it?
I don't know.
Like Peyton weed.
It's
branded Richard Pryor.
I had Richard Pryor's face and the words Richard Pryor. I have no idea.
So did it say it's good?
They actually the mushroom I gave you, the weird looking one, came from that bag. So
that's crazy.
That weird looking mushroom. I looked at that. I'm like, is that thing going?
That thing looks dangerous. So one of them is a stargazer, and the other one is an albino penis envy.
I know. Is that the penis envy?
The fat, crazy looking one is the albino penis envy.
You do mushrooms?
And the skinny, stringy one is a stargazer.
I've done the stargazer before. I've never done the penis envy.
The penis envy, you just look at your shit and go, "Don't look at your penis. Don't look at your penis." Oh my god.
A friend of mine, she brings her son to the sesh, and the son keeps buying penis envy mushrooms, and we were like joking with him, like, "Hey, you must love penis envy. Like, why you keep doing penis envy mushrooms? Like, why?" Well, why not get something different? Like, I'll be embarrassed to like buy some penis envy
I
mushrooms.
just did some that were so beautiful. So like every time you get them, they're always dry and got
Yeah.
blue like moldy shit on it. The
Uh,
ones that I got looked like you got them from a supermarket. They were so white and fresh, and
Nice.
I was like, whoa. And I had them, and they were so good, so good. I wish I could plan my trip more because I have a life,
Right.
believe it or not, right? And so I have to prepare. And so
So the last time I did mushrooms, we had just me and a friend of mine had just finished watching the movie Knocked Up.
okay.
Seth Rogen, Paul Rudd, and they went to the Blue Man Group in Las Vegas, and they did
Right.
mushrooms. We did the same thing, except we didn't know the Blue Man Group was sold out for the next 6 months, so we couldn't just go there and buy tickets. So we went out there and kind of just stared at the signs outside of Blue Man Group, tripping balls. And then we went home. We didn't go inside any casinos. We didn't do anything. We didn't even stay the night.
Really?
It was the stupidest thing I've ever done, but it was
like
fun.
a 10-hour. That's like a 15-hour drive.
Oh, yeah,
man.
yeah.
Just to look at a big neon sign.
Just to look at, yeah, we stayed on that strip, and like we just kind of walked up, down, like maybe 400 or 500 times. I don't know how many times we did it.
What
We were
casino were you
high.
in?
We were high.
remember-
Just looking at the lights. Actually, that's a great way to experience.
Yeah,
Yeah, the last time I was there, they opened up the Fountain Blue. But these casinos, there's nothing like original about them. You know, like
I'll actually say we did stop at one place. We went into Tony Roma's in
you
Old
went down.
Vegas.
You
And
went
didn't
down.
eat food.
Yeah.
And didn't eat food.
Oh no, we did.
You ate food on
We
shrimp,
cleared.
okay.
We cleared plenty of plates of ribs.
What happened to Tony Roma's? They used to be everywhere.
I know. I used to work at a Tony Roma's in when it was in the Willows.
Oh yeah.
I used to work at it, and I think they lost their liquor license because they kept serving to minors. But
That's not good. But I mean, you got a bunch of ribs. Why are you serving liquor to minors?
Right.
Dude? That sounds crazy and stuff. That's crazy.
shout out to Tony Roma's.
Yeah, I miss all you can eat ribs.
I think the only place they got Tony Roma's is in Vegas. I don't know. where-
Vegas, and there's like a couple of places like in the East Coast, I think, or like Texas or something.
It's like Fat Burger. You don't see Fat Burger anymore but LA and
I just moved.
Vegas.
I just moved to Lathrop a couple years ago, and
Oh, yeah.
they have a right down the street, like literally 5 minutes away. They had a Fat Burger, and we were doing a podcasting. We were talking about how they had this certain, I think it was a ketchup that was made from CBD.
Really?
And I'm like, oh, I gotta try this. And they go, you haven't tried a Fat Burger? And I go, no. And they go, it's better than a Five Guys. It's better than an In-N-Out. It's better than all these things. You really got to try it. And I'm like, wow, there's one right in my new hometown. Went there, they had just moved out. I'm like, really?
Yeah, there used to be one in Pleasant Hill. I mean,
Yeah, there used to be one in Pleasant Hill. Now
That
they,
makes them good.
they got burgers this fucking big.
They got big burgers.
yeah,
Like Five Guys, they put everything you want on your burger and more,
Yeah.
right? But the problem is, I see how they beat the shit out of them. You ever see how they hit the patties? And
yeah.
They're all fucking. They look like they came out of a battered patty shelter.
Yeah,
I go to the Habit. The Habit's pretty good. I like the Habit.
Habit's pretty good. Everybody loves In-N-Out. I think In-N-Out's overrated,
I
to
think
be
it is.
honest.
In and out is okay.
So here's the thing with me. When I have hamburgers, I always order them plain. I don't really like to do condiments. I don't like ketchup, mustard, mayo, all that shit. I just have meat and bread, and so I judge a hamburger by the patty, like how good it tastes, how they seasoned it well, how big it
It's
is.
the patty, it's the bread.
It's the patty and the bread, yeah. So it's like I know a lot of people are like you're fucking weird, but that's just the way I like them.
But I'm the opposite way. So I know what you mean, because I can be happy with just a simple cheeseburger,
Yeah.
right? But if I go to somewhere like Five Guys, they have so many killer things to put on a burger: bacon, jalapenos,
Oh yeah, I'll put bacon.
mushrooms,
Yeah.
cheese, barbecue sauce. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
you know what pisses me about an In and Out? They don't got any Wi-Fi. They don't got straight Wi-Fi. I tell
Because they're
you,
in the 50s. They're all in the 50s. They still have big old, what is it, like diaper clips that hold up.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You know, the funny thing is, people look happy when they work at In-N-Out Burger. I
Because they
don't
have
see,
health insurance.
I don't see anybody. You go to any fast food restaurant, people look pissed off. But yeah, In-N-Out, but they don't got Wi-Fi. It's like, I mean, you know, how am I supposed to? Because my phone has no free Wi-Fi. I go to McDonald's, I go to Burger King, you know, but there's no Wi-Fi. So yeah, I wish we didn't know Arch Barker. He was performing at the Melbourne
Uh-huh.
Comedy Festival, and there was a mother and a baby, and the baby kept crying, and I guess she was breastfeeding, and Arch just kicked her ass out. You know.
That's crazy.
The funny thing is that one of my guests on my show actually is at Melbourne. She's at the Melbourne Comedy Festival right now.
I think the craziest part is that somebody would bring a baby to a comedy show and
Yeah.
breastfeed. Like, what? That's bad parenting.
Yeah,
I
you
think-
got to be
I
15
think-
and over. Yeah.
I think you deserve to get thrown out at that point.
If you're at a point where you're disturbing a comedy show, and everybody should know a comedy show is, it's a live performance like a play. You can't even.
Yeah.
I have a comedian Tourette's thing. I'll watch other comics and I'll still say shit out loud, and I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And so I really have to be on my best behavior, but I would never bring a child, never bring, let's say, a dog.
Mm-hmm.
I brought my dog to comedy day, but that worked. But but I mean, I wouldn't. Yeah, that's just lame.
Anything that would like unintentionally disrupt the show.
Is that your phone? Or?
I'm saying anything that would like intentionally not intentionally but unintentionally disrupt the show, like at sporadic moments, you shouldn't bring. Like,
Yeah.
that's why they tell you turn off your phone. You know,
People walked out. They walked out with her because they were upset. Like, oh dear, you got a mother and their baby and stuff. You know.
It's called appropriateness. There's appropriate places for you to be, and there's inappropriate places for you to be. A comedy show is an inappropriate place to have a baby. I'm sorry, 100%.
Most comedians are paranoid. They're like, the baby was heckling me. Now the baby's fucking crying. The baby's crying. No, the baby heckled me, man. I actually walking over here from Powell Bart. I heard an old white woman use the N-word. I was like,
Whoa.
I guess they kicked her out of some head shop, and she's like using the N-word. I was just like, oh, you must be on crack, you know, because it's crazy what you hear out
Well, it
here.
depends on how old she was. It might have just been a flashback. Like,
I don't know. She was way older than me. I don't know. I see a really. It's weird because I live in the senior community, and I see really old people. People like, I'm like, God, do they even know they're even alive anymore? But she was using the N-word. It pissed me off. I think I was at a comedy show. My friend opened up for Arch Barker, so I was like, Arch Barker's got to watch his back.
yeah.
You know, you're an American, and you live in Australia. You can't be kicking out Australian babies.
Any other baby you can kick
Yeah.
out, just not the Australian babies.
He's like, because he said you got to be 15 and over to come to this show. And I'm like, well, is that 15 years? Maybe the mom thought the baby had to be 15 days or over, 15 months older. Like, I don't know. I never seen that a baby at a comedy
I
show.
gotta know. I mean, there's been I do a show at Bambino's. It's a pizzeria or like Italian restaurant / pizzeria in
Yeah, it's like a
Vallejo.
family place.
Yeah. But they have babies there, like, but it's a clean show. Like, we do a clean show, so and like we're expecting it to be there, so we know ahead of time. Hey, you might get heckled by an infant. Just push on, move it forward. But if you're at a place like if you're at a comedy club,
Yeah.
or at a venue where you're not expecting a baby and you see a baby, you're gonna be like, get that fucking baby out of here. Like, what are you doing?
It's not a baby. It's like a midget and stuff.
Okay, that's different.
I was at Mo Green's, the dispensary,
They should be on stage.
on Wednesday for SF Weed Week, and I was inside the dabbing room where people were dabbing, and this woman from PAX was giving out free PAX samples, and some guy brought in like a Doberman pinscher dog, right? And the dog got really excited when he saw the woman and started like jumping up and down. I'm like, dude, there's like a lot of glass in this place. We can't have a dog just fucking freaking out. I was like, this is crazy. The dog just got, I swear, it must have been a man in his past life. Maybe, I don't know what was about this woman, just got the dog.
He was getting into the hump in the leg.
Yeah,
Oh no.
the dog is just like jumping everywhere. And I'm like, this place is full of glass, you know, rigs and all this shit. I'm like, this is the bad idea. And
First of all, fuck dabs. That shit's crazy. Like
you don't like dabbing?
fuck no. I will not smoke out of glass. Like that. Like anything that looks like a crack pipe. I'm sorry, I'm not smoking out of it. But like, it's. So I had a friend who did nothing but dabs. It was a coworker of mine. I used to work at a bar called Farrington's over in Pleasant Hill.
Yeah.
Our security manager, Luke, always dab. Was like every 10 minutes he was in his truck. I'm gonna go do a dab. I'm gonna go do a dab.
He had
And
a
they
rig
always
and
said,
everything?
"Oh yeah, he had a rig, everything set up in his glove box. He would bring it out and put it in. He had his torch and I was like, dude, are you fucking smoking crack? What are you doing?" He's like, "No, I'm dabbing." And I'm like, "What the fuck?" And he was like, "Try it." I'm like, "Nah, I'm good." And then my other friend, one of our security workers who had never done it before, he tried it. He took one hit of the dab and he fell out of the truck and he's barfing and he's just like he's on the floor dying. And I'm like, dude, that's the reason why I'm not doing that shit. But they say like a little dab will do you. It's like, no, a little dab will fucking kill you.
It is concentrate, so you are. I remember when I first started dabbing, yeah, I would cough like crazy.
Yeah.
And I would get hella high and stuff.
I'm way too old for that shit. I got shit to do. I
But
can't.
sometimes there's nothing
Oh,
funner
you
than
have to be
dabbing.
hydrated.
Oh yeah.
You got sometimes there's no like I like dabbing. It's pretty fun. They got the e-nails and stuff, but yeah, I mean dabbing. I used to dab a lot. You know, I don't dab as much as I used to, but I've broken a lot of my glass and shit.
Right. There's
My last rig broke in my backpack.
It's got some crazy stuff that's it's THCA, which is basically it's wax, it's shatter, it's whatever you want to call it. But it looks almost like cocaine because it's a white rock.
right.
Oh yeah,
And
the
so,
crystalline, yeah.
it's crystalline. And so you can actually mix it up in water, like in a water bottle, and it doesn't get you high. It just helps you with like it's like the best CBD ever. It's like really highly concentrated CBD.
Yeah.
So
Oh, okay.
it will help you great. But if you burn it, so usually what I'll do is I'll break up a little bit. I'll load a bowl of some really good green. I'll break a little bit of that on top and heat it up, and boom, one hit, a dab will do you.
Yeah.
One little hit, and it's like, okay, I'm 58. One hit, and I'm good
Yeah.
for I don't know hours.
Right.
And it's like, okay, cool. I just didn't have to smoke a joint or half a joint to my head or whatever.
Yeah.
I put concentrate in my pipe. I don't even use a rig. I just like light it up. But I love the crystalline stuff. Yeah, but I get weirded out because I go to these sessions and the one thing that worries me are the dabs and how they make the chemicals and
Oh, yeah.
all that. Because that's the kind of stuff I'd rather buy at a dispensary. Because not that I don't trust dispensaries, but you never know like what kind of shit they put in there. Like,
No.
I read a study that they tested a bunch of mushrooms that they bought and some of the stuff didn't have mushrooms. It was some chemical and shit. But dabbing is pretty fun. But yeah, it was crazy seeing the
Oh, is that the crystal?
Seeing
Yeah. So
Seeing-
that's got
Yeah,
a little
see-
yellow because it's been sitting in my
That looks like a crack rock right there. I would never.
It smells like heavy duty.
Oh no,
pot,
yeah, it smells like great pot.
But it's like,
Oh,
That's how
God.
you
So
can tell.
Oh,
That's how
God.
you can tell somebody used to be a drug addict. Watch people dabbing and shit,
Oh yeah.
and they start looking at you weird, like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'm like, drug addict, this shit. Anybody's like looking at you like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like, oh.
There's just certain drugs I stay away from. I think Harold Ramis said it best, where he said, "No pills, no powders. If it comes out of the ground, it's probably okay."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I don't fuck with pills and shit.
I did ecstasy one time, and it was responsible for the worst moment of my life. So I will never do that shit ever again.
It's like every LSD story you've ever
got
heard.
pregnant,
It was
no, it was-
and it opened up doors, or fuck, I'm never doing that.
It was literally the worst, the
knock
most
somebody out,
embarrassing
or-
moment of my life.
What is it? What
so-
is it?
I was 21 years old, and this is when raves were still big out in Oakland, where they were having up warehouses and stuff like that. Me and a couple of buddies went out. We're planning on going out to a rave. We each got some ecstasy because we figured, hey, that's what they do there. So we decided we'll take the pill because we know it takes a little while to kick in. We'll take the pill before we leave, and then by the time we get there, we'll be on point. We'll be where we need to be at. So I take my pill, go to the bathroom. We take off, and we get there, and my friends, they're having the reaction that they wanted. They're having
a good time.
the desired reaction. But when we get there, the line to get in is like a mile long. Me, I am not having that reaction. I am completely numb. I cannot feel anything. And I'm thinking, this was bullshit. Like, I can't feel anything. I don't think it's working.
It was bunk.
I like, this is bunk. And I'm waiting in line, and I'm still like this. I'm in line for about another hour. I'm still completely numb, cannot feel anything. And people are walking by me, and they're pointing and laughing, and I'm like, I'm oblivious to it. And my friends are humping the wall and just being, oh God, this feels so good. And I'm pissed. And I finally get to the front of the line, and the security guard puts his hand on my chest, and he's like, I can't let you in here like that. And I was like, what? Like what? What are you talking about? He's like, bro, look down. I look down, and I have the biggest fucking hard-on that I've ever had in my life. And my pants were unzipped, so it's just hanging out saying hi to everybody.
Jesus.
I could not feel a thing. And I'm just looking at it, and I'm like, huh. Well, I'm not going to be the guy at the party with his dick out, so I'm going to go back to the car. So I go back to the car and basically fuck the back seat of my friend's Honda, and that was the end of that. It was bad. I guess I forgot to zip up my pants when I left. When I got out of the bathroom before we left, and it was just hanging out for everybody to see. That's why everybody was pointing and like laughing, and I'm like, it was bad.
I got solutions for you. It's called wear shorts. I don't got any zippers, so and my dick is hanging out.
There you go.
It's just too big, like maybe
It was Oakland. It was cold. I couldn't wear shorts.
that is funny. Like is that the only time you got caught with your dick hanging out? Or?
I mean, it's not the only time. That's the only time my dick's been out in public like that. I mean, I've gotten caught with my dick out, but it's usually at home.
These days, none of your friends told you. I'm like that. You were with your
No,
friends.
they were busy humping the wall, and they were having the desired reaction that
What kind
they
of friends
wanted.
you got?
So
Your
they were
dick-
assholes. Like
Your dick is out. They don't even tell you. Like
No.
your dick is out. So maybe one of your friends unzipped you accidentally. Like let me
I
unzip
hope
it.
not. If that's the case, we need to have. I need to go back and have a discussion with them because
That is weird. Yeah. I got an ecstasy pill on me right now. Look at my little necklace. That's an ecstasy pill.
ecstasy pill.
This is an ecstasy.
God, get that
But
away
it's
from
in
me.
plastic. I want it, right? But
That's like a break just in case of emergency.
It's
The
really
funny thing is, I
crazy.
wonder if they could bust you.
I don't know. I think
They would have to
ecstasy.
test it.
It depends. I think ecstasy is it's decriminalized in Oakland. I think it's part.
No,
I think
there's only a couple things that are decriminalized, but that's not one of them.
was it
Yeah.
mushrooms, acid, DMT?
Yeah.
Have you done DMT
I have
before?
not.
Most of the hallucinogens, yes.
Oh yeah, I
I've
did
done
mescaline.
acid. I've done
Mescaline is my favorite, but I've never seen mescaline again.
one thing I did do. I think it's called Special K, ketamine.
Ketamine. Yeah.
I did that. I did that once with an old girlfriend of mine, and like that was weird. It was just like 15 minutes of just insanity, and then it's
Oh yeah.
done. It's like the best roller coaster ride you've ever been on.
I've been in some crazy roller coasters and stuff. Have you done any of the roller coasters in Vegas?
No, I don't
gotta-
trust mafia workmanship.
Oh yeah.
They cut corners definitely when they built that shit.
My first job was at Great America. Have you been to Great America?
I have been to Great America.
Yeah.
They're closing it.
They
Yeah,
are
they're closing it in a couple of years.
2025, I think, or is it 25 or
It
26?
broke my heart because it's like a family. It's a fight between two things that I love.
Yeah,
My first job, Great America. I love Great America. Then you got the 49ers who built a stadium right in the parking lot of Great America. So now you got the 49ers basically took over the city hall or
yeah.
just of Santa Clara. That's why there's no, if you go to the stadium, there's like nothing but techie firms.
Oh yeah,
And, but yeah, so yeah, it's going to get shut down in a couple of years.
last time I went to Great America, it was for my daughter. She I think she was in middle school and she was doing cheerleading and she had a competition there. And it was back in 2008.
I went with my junior high class a couple times. Like, did you drop something, Paul? It looks like you're digging out of your pants.
No, I was breaking something up and I fell on my pants.
Oh
You are correct.
yeah. Somebody told me like the Jamaicans don't use grinders; they use their hand, and they try to explain to me exactly how they grind weed with their hand and stuff.
Huh.
I used to have a friend that he would want to roll the joint. And so he would sit there and you give him a bud or a couple buds to break up. And he would break up every little, like I break it up pretty good, but he was breaking up like every little nodule, every little leaf, I mean, just micro. I was like, dude,
Turned it into crumbs.
basically. And like pulled each leaf almost off the bud individually kind of thing. And it's like, really, dude? But yeah.
Yeah, I never knew that there were people with scissors who would cut up weed.
Yeah.
I just assumed the weed just came off the tree like that. I had a friend that she would trim all that shit. Now it's all done with computers, but I just didn't realize that there was all business like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, some people really get into it, but I'm really good at rolling joints. That's why I never really quit smoking weed because one of the best things I do. The trouble is I like to stick the whole thing in my mouth to get it all wet, to shut it in. And nobody wants to share. Like as soon as they see you putting that when I'm with a group of people and I don't want to share weed, I just stick the joint in my
Right.
mouth.
COVID's real.
I don't want none of this. You know. But yeah, I like
A friend of mine used to do that with blunts. He would roll it, and then he'd do like that, and then he would take the whole joint and then
Oh yeah.
stick it on and on.
Well,
And it was like, you son of a bitch.
I don't want that.
No, nobody
Like,
wants to touch
I'll
it.
pass, thanks. Not only did you have that whole thing in your mouth, but you did that a little too sensually. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I know somebody used to put honey on their blunts.
Honey?
Honey, like to make it burn slower, you put honey on the blunts and stuff.
No, I never heard of that. I know that we used to put honey oil.
But the whole thing about the whole blunt thing, I always wonder where did blunts come from? Like, I mean, some people are. I think blunts should blunts are a problem, you know. People should just stick to
Is this
rolling
your
paper.
PSA?
I don't know. I think it just adds a whole other problem to weed. Like,
All right, so look at that camera and tell them why people shouldn't smoke blunts.
well, you know, tobacco's terrible for you. You know, you got Gavin Newsom cracking down on the flavor tobaccos. I had some kids once. They asked me to buy them some tobacco blunt thing at a liquor store, and I was like, I'm not buying you shit. Why don't you just get a tin can? Old school, but I mean, weed is hard enough for you. You don't need like tobacco on top of it. I know the Europeans like to mix their weed with tobacco, but I don't think it's good for you. I think you should just say no to it. You know, stick to using tin cans like the regular potheads.
You heard it here first, folks. When it comes to blunts, just say no.
Just say no and stuff.
There you go. Thank you for the PSA.
Yeah. You're keeping the tobacco companies in business. Do you really want to do that, you know? Do you really? I mean, I get like 100 rolling papers for like $2. A blunt is like maybe $5 to get like 2 papers, you know?
I just think it ruins it. People go, oh, well, you get so high. And I'm just like, yeah, you know, you can get an actual cigarette and hit it like a joint and get high too.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to hit tobacco like that.
And people waste the tobacco too. I see people buying the cigars.
Cutting them. That's what we do. We cut them and then empty them out.
And I know people who ask me for cigarettes all the time. I'm like, why don't you find a friend that likes blunts and just take the tobacco away from them, you know?
Well, that's why they were smart and started actually making blunt wrappers, but nobody uses them.
Yeah. Well, it depends. I don't know.
Well, 'cause first of all, they're all flavored now.
Well, but everybody like originally didn't start with a Swisher Sweet.
Yeah. Started with Swisher. Like when I was smoking blunts, you know, back in late 90s, I actually started with I don't know if you heard of it, they're called Garcia Vegas.
Yeah.
The leaf ones.
Right.
I started out with those. Those were actually really good. But yeah, I had a friend who used to always keep his thumbnail like pointy sharp so he could always he could always cut his Vegas in half, empty it out, and roll up a blunt. So.
Yeah, they got those special things to cut the cigars open. They got all these things, but you don't need all that shit, you know, the backwoods.
How many times have you pulled into a parking spot and you look and there's just a pile of tobacco on the ground?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
at the gas station all the time.
There's a Swisher Sweet wrapper.
Yeah. You'll see it at a gas station or at a 7-Eleven all the time.
Yeah.
Now the worst are the hemp wrappers. I'm like, why? I mean, if you're not gonna do tobacco wrappers, just do paper. But now you got hemp wrappers.
Oh, they got hemp. Like
You know, I
Yeah.
can't do tobacco. I'm just gonna smoke hemp. I'm like, how about a paper? Goddamn it! How about just rolling
the
paper?
real hippies have the hemp wicks,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, "Hey man, I only use the hemp wick to smoke my pot with."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Cool, light the hemp wick." Yeah, let me grab a match or a lighter. What the fuck?
A
Didn't
friend
you
of
just
mine does
negate
that.
lighting
Yeah.
a hemp wick?
Yeah.
Well, dude, but it's the hemp. It's the natural hemp burning. It's like, yeah, but
Yeah.
how did you get it started?
How'd you get it started? Not naturally.
A friend of mine uses a magnifying glass outside. He's like, he takes out his magnifying glass. Let me show you how to light it. I'm like, dude, that guy actually lit his weed. I was like,
That's going back to the old days. So
Yeah.
that's like people when they
When they used
first
to-
started having cannabis clubs and people going, I still like to buy my pot from a dealer. It tastes better. It's better stuff. And it's like, really? Hold on. It's like, really? Is it that obvious that, we're to that point of where
yeah.
now we're just kind of like, oh,
I want my pot naturally sourced. Thank you.
Oh. These days, there's no question that the weed you get at dispensaries is better.
oh yeah.
Next thing you know, they're gonna start selling weed at Trader Joe's.
I'm sure
They should.
I'm sure they're going to be selling mushrooms at Walgreens in 5 years, too. I think it's going to get to... I know people who they're on mushrooms all day long, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. I like 5 years ago, they were on weed all day long. Now
Yeah.
they're just popping mushrooms like it's going out of style, and I'm like,
I
damn.
think 25, 30 years from now, you're gonna be looking at pot stores like liquor stores.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you have ID, you literally walk in. There's one person behind a counter,
Mhm.
and you're not worried about being ripped off or whatever.
It's it's like you've heard of Tom Segura, of course,
Yeah,
right?
I opened for Tom.
He what did he say about? He's like, our kids are never gonna believe our stories about weed. Yeah, just like
We had to wait down the street
Yeah.
in a car for hours at a time.
we had to take 3-hour round trips. I almost died.
Yeah, I remember calling people up. I used to tell people I'd call up like, "You got some weed?
Yeah,
I got weed."
getting into cars with strangers.
Yeah, and then I got friends now. They're weed snobs. They're looking at the weed that they won a raffle. They're like, I'm
Right.
not doing this shit. And I'm like, I'll do it because you don't even know what kind of weed. I used to smoke shit. People used to call it Mexican gold. Like they assumed the weed came from Mexico. You know, it was shitty, and we liked it.
Hell yeah.
And even
And
like
you could get like a trash bag full for like $50.
I know. Now people are there's mold in the weed. They're like all paranoid, and I'm like, they're doing testing. Oh, nice. But it's like, yeah, they're all parent. I know weed snobs. They're like, they won't do anything but high quality shit.
We were just talking about flyers. This is one of the shittiest flyers I've ever done. For a show. So it's an awesome blossom onion for the purple onion.
Yeah,
That's great though.
that
That's
is
fucking
pretty
amazing.
fun.
Isn't that great? I mean, that goes back a dozen years at least.
Oh yeah.
So it's kinda
Yeah, I just used the purple. I still can't believe they bought the purple onion name at Cal's.
funny. Yeah,
I
I,
mean,
wonder where the original purple onion sign resides.
I don't know. You're probably gonna see it and with that one show, the TV show, someone's probably gonna try and sell it on a TV show.
On like Pawn Stars?
Yeah,
Oh
gonna
no!
It's gonna be in somebody's storage unit
Like,
that
hey,
they
what
let
do you-
go.
Oh yeah, all right, Storage Wars. Let's open this bad boy up. I would love to have that sign. I would love to have the original sign for the Holy City Zoo. I would love to have, because the original Holy City Zoo sign,
I think Will Durst has that stuff.
the story behind it is that they saw some zoo. It was like one of those like lion country safaris out in the middle of
Yeah.
somewhere, and it was closed, and they had the sign out there, and they bought it.
Huh.
And I was like, oh. So that sign came from somewhere else before they put it on the Holy City Zoo.
I thought Will
And
Durst
then
owned that.
I should ask Debbie about that because she would know. And so
Yeah.
that's what I heard too. I heard they have that sign somewhere. But that would, so if I owned that sign, it'd be stuck up in my studio.
Oh, yeah.
Like right now, I would stick it right there in the middle of my studio.
You got a lot of good stuff up here. I love the mystery machine up there.
Yeah, isn't that great? And it actually, it talks and everything else. And it's like, yeah. So a lot of eye candy.
A lot of eye candy in here.
I hated that
Dude,
Scooby movie, the live action.
The Mexican Bumblebee. Dude, I used to
So do you
watch
know who
him.
that- do you know who-
Sábado Gigante every.
No, so do you know who that is, though?
No.
That almost looks like the guy from
It
Sábado.
it does.
Sábado Gigante! With all the beautiful women, and he's the heavy set Mexican.
Oh yeah,
That's John Belushi.
El Gordo y la
Yes,
Flaca.
thank you. That is John Belushi.
That is John
Well, you know
Belushi.
the Sábado
That is John
Gigante.
Belushi is the King Bee.
You're talking
Or
about
the King Bee, baby.
Don Francisco's Chilean. Like, what? Years ago, when I would tell people I was Chilean,
But he does look Mexican.
they would ask me why.
Dude, that looks straight up like the
The
Bumblebee.
Sábado.
The Sábado Gigante
Yeah.
Bumblebee. Like,
Yeah,
Scary thing is he's dressed up so stupid on that show before.
yeah.
Oh my god! So they always stick him in like hot tubs with these beautiful women
Oh yeah.
and stuff. And I was like, okay, what a job. What if they
Oh,
what
yeah.
if that what if they came in and they go, Chris, we've got the concept for this TV show you're going to be hosting all of Friday night. It's going to be like up all night with what's her name? Yeah, from whatever. What was that? USA Network or whatever?
Oh yeah, Up All
Rhonda
Night.
Shear or whatever it was,
Rhonda
up all
Shear.
night. We're gonna let you play your favorite movies or your favorite bits, and we're gonna surround you with beautiful women the entire time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. You're gonna pay me for this?
Right.
Well, Sábado Gigantes came out of Chile first.
Did it?
Yeah, it came out, and it was like all day, like 5 hours a day.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they
It
played
was a
like,
variety show. Like it started at I think noon because I remember my abuelito, my grandfather. He would as soon as we got home from church, he would turn the TV on and it would be on, and he would watch it until he went to bed.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good show. People used to ask me about two different Chileans. They asked me about Don Francisco, and the other one's Pinochet, who was a fucking dictator. But yeah, Sábado Gigantes came out of Chile. In fact, he got the idea from American TV shows. Back in the 50s, they used to have a lot of TV shows like that. Would go on for hours and hours.
It seemed like a mix of like something like you said, like that, where it's a variety show that's all day long. They would show maybe a feature film. They would have some sort of thing where they had audience. They would live audience participation, like games or little stunts, where people can make money and make fools of themselves. There was the whatever paid the bills. So there's the pretty girls sponsoring whatever kind of products and flinging whatever kind of products they could.
Right.
Anything from beer to makeup to whatever, to erectile dysfunction. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
But so it is kind of that, or even kind of like the Asian game shows you see.
Yeah.
So I think they were trying to appeal to everybody. And like you said, it was a 5-hour, 6-hour show. And it's like, okay. And that was every place every house I would walk into, there it is playing. And I was like, okay.
Oh yeah.
Every Saturday it was always on.
It was like, I don't want to kind of a contradiction in terms, but it was kind of white noise. It was constantly on, even if nobody was sitting there looking right at the TV. It was playing while the kids are running back and forth, while someone's cooking, while other people were working on the car.
So my grandfather would always watch us on Saturdays because my mom and my grandmother, they would go out to like the flea markets and stuff like that. He had bad knees. He didn't want to walk around and do all of that. So this is how he watched us. He'd sit down and he'd be watching, Sábado Gigante or something, and he'd be like, "Hey kids, be where I can see you."
Be where I can see you. So as long as you were in eye shot,
then you were fine.
Yeah, that's funny.
At the 420 show I was at, they had the DJs playing music, but the DJs never said anything at all. And I'm like, it's 420. Isn't your job to let us know it's 420?
DJs aren't DJs anymore. They're just
they
little
just
punk
play
kids
music.
that play music off of their fucking iPhone.
Why would you pay somebody to do that? I could play my own music.
I could play
And half of them aren't even mixing anything.
Yeah.
No.
They're not literally taking something and making their own sound effects or rearranging the music or scratching it, or all they're doing is playing a current song in its current form and then sliding into the next track.
Yeah.
They're making a transition like we make with screens. We're making a transition from one camera to another camera.
Right.
And that's all they're doing, is they're literally just doing that.
You gotta say something though. It's 420.
And they're non-communicative. They have no.
Yeah.
I don't think they need to be like they used to be in the 80s where their hype man's like, yeah, the air horn and shit like that. But they should go, hey, is everybody smoking out there?
Yeah,
How's
everybody
it
having a
going?
good time.
I'm fucked up. How about you?
They're just staring at it like.
They're just like, and it's uncomfortable, like, too, because
they need to have personality, but then they also need to have an act.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're three comedians. And you're a karaoke
I am.
DJ. You're a KJ.
A KJ.
You're a KJ. I had to reach into my Rolodex for that.
KJ Rhino Rex in the house.
So you're a KJ. Do you put any personality? Do you put
Absolutely.
jokes in there?
Absolutely. That's how I learned to host shows, being a KJ.
Right. And shouldn't this stuff, do you cross promote?
Absolutely.
Don't you, if you're at a karaoke gig and aren't you going, you think I'm funny, come see my other show.
Right.
Even if you're doing a set, hey, you guys like to do karaoke, I'm going to be in Livermore next week.
Absolutely. You got to have some type of personality. Give the people a reason to want to see you. Because a trained monkey can go and press a button and play a song. and have you go up there and sing it. But it's the personality. Like,
Why don't
everybody
you just
always
have a music streaming service. Why don't you just
Right.
have Spotify or Pandora play your shit?
you could do YouTube
ready
at
to do-
home and
right.
and have your own karaoke night at home
and
through the
make
YouTube
your own playlist.
and be fine. But you go to these karaoke nights, A, for company because you want to be around people, and B, you want to see the host. You want to see who's doing it. And a lot of people come back to my shows because I do karaoke Wednesday night at Retro Junkie, Sunday night at Lafayette at the Roundup.
They
and
come back to see you.
they come back to see me.
They don't come back because you have the Neil Diamond song.
Right. No, they don't come back because I have certain songs or because I download from YouTube or I have newer track. No, they come to see me.
Right.
Like, and I've had people walk up and tell me like, bro, I won't go to any other shows but yours because you're fun.
Right.
You make it fun for us.
Right.
And you got to do that. You got to make it fun for
literally
people.
your selling point.
Yeah, that's your job. Your job as a DJ, as an entertainer, whether it's a comedian or whatever. That's your job is to make the shit entertaining and fun for people.
The KJs I know are like entertainers. They literally have a following. I can think of a couple of them. Amanda Rocks for one, and I can think of DJ Purple, which are people here in the Bay Area that actually put on a show. They don't just have you pick the music. They try to get you interactive. Like with Amanda Rocks, she's really personable and friendly and actually engages with you and talks to you and makes you. It's like, oh, there's a reason you're here. And sometimes you're too shy. Like, I'll get me to the bar, and I'll watch other people sing, but it may take me a week or two to go up there and fill out a slip.
But a good KJ will make that person want to fill out a slip right then and there because holy shit, everybody's having fun. I want to have fun too.
And they make them feel welcome. Hey, my name is so and so, and what's your name? Oh, cool. Glad to see you here.
Yeah, give a special introduction, So if we got a first-time singer tonight, everybody, please give a warm welcome. Give your energy to so-and-so and blah, blah, blah.
Well, it's like even Tony Sparks said, we were just talking about the brainwash.
Yeah.
Let's give him a lot of love.
Yeah. Tony was great. Tony is great for that.
But that's what you should be doing is you should make somebody feel comfortable and encourage them, right? And so you're going to get the best out of them when you do that.
I never had that. I never had a first time at the Brainwash.
You never got the lot of love?
No, because I used to go to another open mic he used to host in Oakland. I don't think he realized it was my first time at the Brainwash. But I've known Tony for years. I knew him back when Cat Williams was out here tearing shit up. But yeah, like the weirdest thing about these DJs, they actually had like the little record player thingies too. I'm like, you bring all your equipment, but I think they were just basically playing a CD.
They are. So even like when you're looking at this, you can put one CD on the left, one CD on the right, and you're literally just going, you're sliding from left to right, and that's all. Here they have 1,000 buttons on this controller.
Yeah,
right. They're using this.
That's all they're using.
That's all they're using.
Funny thing is, so I went to a club one night. I'm not going to say the name of the club, but I went to a club one night, and this DJ, he was rocking it. Like he had the personality. He was engaging. He had it. But I went back and I went to the back because I was working the club. I went back to see what he was doing. And I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? He was literally just playing a YouTube video of somebody else's mix.
So I
was like, you son of a bitch.
Right, and I've done stuff like that. So I was a DJ for a stripper club here, a big one, the Condor. And so I've actually done it where I was a video DJ.
Yeah.
So they had stuff on screen. So a lot of the time I was doing like, I'd do a killer song and then I would put some little like Fred Flintstone sliding down the back end of the Brontosaurus going yabba dabba doo and off to work or whatever.
Right.
And then I would slide into another song. And so for a while there, people were like, what's your background? Because they could tell the shit I was putting, or I'd put like the theme to the Addams Family in between it or something. And people would be like, That's really quirky. You have a real personality. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm usually not a DJ at a stripper club
Right. This
in
isn't my.
North Beach and San
This
Francisco.
isn't my career.
This isn't yeah, I'm a comedian and I do on air stuff but yeah, it's more of just trying to entertain people with pretending like there's not nude girls standing in front of you with big tits.
Right. That
Yeah.
part.
I'm hoping
gotta
that
be
I'm going to be
weird.
able to entertain you to some.
Yeah. That is weird.
I'm hoping that you'll want to look at my tits.
Yeah, my eyes are up here.
I got some nice B size.
Oh, I got you. I got the triple D's going on.
Oh, yeah.
Me and Ryan are racing for the top.
That's right. I shop at Victoria's Secret.
Yeah, and it's no secret.
It's
I
not.
don't
It's not
know.
a secret. Might be a secret to Victoria, but not anybody else. All right, so I actually did that on stage. So remember when I used to host Tommy T's in San Francisco?
Yeah.
So I had this thing where I would be wearing a bra, but nobody could tell. And so like in between each comic, I would do some bit where, oh, I'm getting to know you guys better. Oh, okay, we're becoming friends. And it's like 3 comics in or something. I'm like, wow, I feel like I can tell you guys anything. And I like adjust my bra and snap it. And people were like, is he? Literally like 3 comics. He just. And like, oh, what's going on? And then every once in a while, I'd like adjust my pants. Like, is he wearing like a G-string or whatever? But yeah, I wore a bra. I had to go bra shopping.
I would have taken that one step further, and I would have just like by the time I introduced the headliner, I would have been like, you know what, I feel comfortable with you guys. Let me get this off, and just I'd have pulled it out of my friggin' sleeve. And
Yeah.
just, oh, okay, that feels so much better.
But it was fun to have a prop. It was something.
What size bra? So
It was like a 36D.
your
dude.
next
It was
birthday,
huge.
I'll just buy you a bra or something.
Yeah, I still. It's funny because when I moved, I found my bra. It was hanging in my closet on a hanger, and I'm like,
That's
"There's
cute.
my red cute bra."
That's cute. Did you ask your kids? Have you seen my bra?
Oh, I kept it. It's in my closet now because I thought, okay, if I ever do something like that again, I don't want to have to go.
If you grow some titties or something, why buy a new bra and shit?
It was
There you
hella
go.
funny. Yeah.
I never used a bra. I should maybe.
Have you ever used a prop?
No.
The only other prop that I can think of that I used was
I use sunglasses. That's kind of a prop.
it is because it's actually a tool.
Mm.
Yeah.
So if comedians in the beginning, people have problems with public speaking.
Yeah.
And so if they can't look in their eyes, they can do what Chris is talking about. We call it a Mitch Hedberg. You put on your
Yeah.
glasses. Your eyes could be closed. Nobody would know.
Nobody would know.
Yeah.
And the other thing is you look through somebody, around somebody, over the top of somebody. You look in between people. So they think you're still making some sort of contact with them. But at some point, you have to lock eyes. You have to engage. If you don't, then you lose them.
Yeah.
Sometimes the lights are so damn bright, like
You can't see anybody.
you can't.
So then you pretend like they're there.
Yeah.
Tommy T's that in Pleasanton, that place is infamous for that bright ass
Oh,
light.
yeah.
And you're up higher.
And you're up higher, and you're just you
So-
can't even see the front row.
So that's when your other senses as a comedian come out.
Mhm.
Oh, I just made a pot joke and I just heard somebody over in the left back rear, a woman and a man laugh really hard. And then so over here, this table whole erupted over here. And then these guys were all, so you literally start almost like you're using your other senses.
Absolutely.
And you're like, okay, that one hit. Stay on track. Oh, they're liking the pot stuff. Keep doing pot stuff. Keep doing pot stuff. Here, let me throw in a Trump joke. Silent. Uh-oh, back to the pot. Back to the pot. And so you have to use all your senses. We were watching me and my kid were watching a comedian yesterday, Orny Adams. And so Orny was so energetic and he was pacing back and forth on the stage so much. He was going back and forth and he's like, my kid's like, that's distracting. And I go, it is in a way.
Yeah.
But I go, but he's really working the audience. He's going from one side of the stage, looking at people's eyes, looking in their face. When he's saying things, he's looking at who's laughing at what,
Yeah.
how they're laughing. Oh, I just made a joke about relationships, and there's this couple in front, and one elbows the other one. Oh, okay, there's something going on there. So all that is tools for the toolbox,
Yeah.
right?
No.
Crowd work. You got to have it.
When I saw Eddie Griffin in Vegas, he had like a movie screen, TV screen,
Mm-hmm.
and he showed clips of Biden falling. I feel bad for laughing, but at one point he's like, "Yeah, Biden's the only person that falls walking upstairs." And
Yeah, no, he goes up the stairs when he's falling. He kept falling up the plane.
then
stairs.
he had remember that fight in, was it South Carolina at the pier? There was a big fight. Was it the pier?
I don't remember.
Was it Atlanta or in Georgia?
Biden was in a fight?
No. There was a pier. There was like a riot at a pier last year. I think it was like Georgia.
But so he's showing the stuff on a screen.
He's
behind him.
showing, I mean, he has his big movie screen, and then he has the Kardashians, and
So he's talking about stuff all in the current.
yeah. But the fact he has his big screen,
Well,
I
I
mean,
thought
it's
Eddie Izzard-
hilarious.
Eddie
Yeah.
Izzard did the same thing, and it was funny because he started off with like, he comes out, he's dressed in drag this time, and he's got a big screen behind him, and he's like, oh, I want to welcome you guys. I saw him in Redwood City at the Fox Theater. So he goes, oh, I want to welcome you guys here to the Fox Theater in Redwood City. All of a sudden, the screen lights up, and it's like a Google Earth coming from wherever, and it transitions, and all of a sudden you're in Redwood City, and you see downtown, and then you see the Fox Theater. And then he starts talking about this actually takes place. Let me tell you about how my life started or something. And all of a sudden it's like a map that goes over to Europe and show anyway. So it was like almost like a fucking slideshow
Right.
that he's making jokes. So he almost curated his own act based off a slideshow, which is kind of funny because if any of you guys are old enough, you remember people showing slides.
Oh, yeah.
Or even if you go to something boring like a lecture or like
PowerPoint.
employee training or PowerPoint or you want to lighten that mood, and having some sort of prop, i.e. slides, is a good thing
Absolutely.
because it actually can provide you a setup or a punchline for your joke or even a tag.
So I want to ask you this. And a lot of people tell me that this is kind of like prop or hacky or, stuff like that. So I write parody songs.
Okay.
But I take popular songs and I mix just my own lyrics into them. Just
Weird Al has done
Yeah.
that for 40 years and he made a great.
exactly. So I put some of that in my act,
Okay.
and most people love it. But I've had a couple comments like, bro, that's fucking hacky.
Hacky?
Like, that's fucking. I'm like, so what? People are entertained. People are having fun with it.
I think if you can have for one, you got to have a talent. So this is what I think about comedians. They have to be funny. You have to bring the funny. No matter what, you got to bring the funny. I don't care how you bring the funny.
Right.
If you're watching an open mic, like we're going to the Wash tonight, and each one of those is going to be 3 to 5 minutes.
Mhm.
If you don't like what's happening in this 3 to 5 minute slot, you're probably going to like what the next person's going to bring, or at least the one after that.
Right.
You're not going to have to wait long until something totally different is going to be on stage. So if you're doing a 10, 15, 20-minute set, and you can bring all those elements to your set, it just means you're going to get more people to like you. I don't like when he does his parody thing. That's kind of hacky.
Yeah.
But he does this thing when he starts about his relationships or his parents
Right.
or his kids. Oh my God, he's hilarious. But then he does this other thing. Yeah, great. So if you can have variety in your act, hopefully you have some sort of mass appeal that you're going to get more fans.
Yeah.
I mean, what did they say? You don't find your fans find you.
Absolutely.
Is it Taylor Swift? I mean,
It's not. So in karaoke, like one of my go-to songs, one of my go-to artists is Notorious B.I.G. because I can do his voice damn near perfect. His mannerisms, even the accent, the New York accent that he has. So when I do it, I do the song called I do a song he did. I love it when you call me Big Papa. So I changed the lyrics of it, and then I rap about food. So I love it when you make me fresh pasta.
Okay, there you go.
And so I put that I have the audience participate with me. So I'll tell people it's like I'm gonna count you down because like I lead into it by saying I always wanted to be a rapper. When I was young, and it's true, I did.
So how you segue or drop into this parody as you go? Oh,
and I was like,
rapper, I love food.
Here
we go.
I was like, I grew up in the era where if you rapped about gangster stuff, you had to be, a gangster. You had to live that life. But I only knew how to rap about food. So like this was one of the raps that I did. And I would have people, I'd count them down and be like, all right, 3, 2, 1. I would need everybody to say, when I point to you, I love it when you make me fresh pasta. And I point to them and they do it.
And it's interacting and they love being a part of the act.
Yeah. So they'll go, I love it when you make me fresh pasta. And I'm going to throw your hands in the air if you can cook for a player. So I'll bring it back and forth. And people, people start busting up laughing. But I've had comics come up and tell me, like, bro, that's fucking hacky.
But here's the thing. If you're on a show with 5 other acts, let's just say 5 acts, and you know who they're talking about the next day? Probably you.
Yeah.
You know why?
Because I did something different.
You did something different. You got them involved, and they felt like part of the show.
Yeah.
I never rap karaoke because my voice isn't like fast. I think I did. I try to do Ice Ice Baby, but I can't keep up.
A lot of people think that that's an easy song to do because they say, "Oh, Vanilla Ice wasn't a good rapper." Vanilla Ice was a great rapper.
Yeah.
But he just stole music. That's all he did.
Yeah.
They think you can sing Ice Ice Baby. They just think of the background.
Yeah. But like, if you actually listen to the verses and see his cadence and his flow, like he actually was pretty good. Like I'm not gonna say he's on the level of like Eminem or Kendrick Lamar or anything
But
like that.
it was a starting point.
It was a starting point. Yeah, he was like, I'll put him as I'm not gonna put him as a legend, but I'll put him up there.
I'll put him up there with
He's
Marky Mark
great.
and the Funky Bunch.
Right. But like Marky Mark, like his was so like
Popish.
it was popish and it was easy to follow. It was
So like you were just talking about cadence. So
yeah.
Vanilla Ice could actually spit.
Yeah, because he'll have like parts where he just like goes in, he'll switch his flow. Marky Mark never switched his flow.
Yeah, he
up.
could switch gears.
Yeah, like because he'll go. He went from that ice, and then he'll go to the extreme. I'll rock a mic like a vandal, light up the stage and wax the chump like a candle, dance. And then
He'd switch up his cadence. He'd switch up.
He'd switch everything up.
He'd switch
if you listen to the song, the Ninja Turtle rap that he did, go ninja, go.
Oh, right.
That's very easy. But the verses, he actually
pretty tight.
I mean, I'm not gonna say they were dope, but they were.
But again,
starting
point.
They were. There had some variety. They had some cadence to it.
He never got a chance to get out.
I spent a week watching Marky Mark perform. I was an extra in that movie called Superstar, where
Oh, really?
like he's in they bring him in to be lead singer of a band,
Uh-huh.
and it was in L.A. I think at USC at the arena, and yeah, I spent a week just watching him do.
That's crazy.
And they had Bonham's son. He was a drummer.
Yeah,
For
Jason Bonham.
Jason Bonham was a drummer, but yeah, I spent a week just watching him just do over and over and sing it. But yeah,
That's
Marky
one
Mark,
thing Mark Wahlberg won't talk about.
Yeah,
If you start talking about Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, he is out of the interview.
well, you know his brother is in a real band. I mean,
Donnie Wahlberg.
nobody's saying that the
Because
new,
wasn't he was a hard rocker, wasn't he?
yeah, the New Kids in the Block, they make real music. I'm not saying Marky
Oh wait,
Mark.
he was one of the new kids? No.
No,
Or NSYNC or
no, his brother's in New Kids.
Yeah, his brother is a New Kids on the Block.
Marky
his brother was New Kids.
Marky Mark was supposed to be in New Kids in the Block, but he was in jail.
Is he the one that's on Blue Bloods now? Donnie Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in Blue Bloods. Yeah, but actually, I had tickets to see their first show at Great America when I worked there, and in fact, it was Tiffany who was headlining, right? And Mark and the New Kids in the Block was opening up, but halfway through they kind of switched places. It was Tiffany who was opening up for the new kids, and I sold my tickets. But to this day, I wish I had the balls to have gone to that show. I would love to think like, yeah, I actually saw New Kids in their first fucking tour, but I missed it and then I sold it to a friend of mine who sold it to some other dude who showed up with his 13-year-old daughter.
I think the one I got subjected to the most out of all those boy bands was Backstreet Boys.
Oh yeah,
And so
that
like
was
all
that
my
was a
kids
staple.
were into the Backstreet Boys, and then they were so mainstream. I mean, you couldn't even get like a Happy Meal without getting a likeness or a digital download or some bullshit. Sorry about that.
You got your phone?
I
Yeah,
thought-
that was so. The only time my phone will ring
That's like a
or it will
Viking
notify
call?
me, I know that it's the horn from Sherwood Forest. It
I thought it was like a Viking call.
is kind of like a Viking call. So
I'm like, are we going to war?
the only people that can get through to me when I'm in studio mode is my parents
Mine's
or
R2D2.
my kids, and I make them VIP, but I also tell them don't text me during the middle.
Your father ran out of cigarettes or something?
Oh my god!
Do you still buy your dad cheap cigarettes? Or don't you feel
Oh
bad?
my god! I feel horrible.
Don't you feel bad? Like
The only thing I feel good about,
Basics.
no, even worse. There's something you don't even buy.
GPC.
there's some in the street for
What are
like
they called?
they try and sell it to me all the time.
Denim.
Denim.
Oh, that sounds like you're
And they're from
smoking.
Germany, and you buy them from the Asian ladies out here.
Oh.
$3 a pack.
It's like you're smoking like old jean jackets. Like
Probably. That's what I'm afraid of.
it's the tobacco they picked out of the jean jackets.
They should call them dungarees. That's how old they are.
Because I don't think tobacco is that easy to grow, is it? I mean, it doesn't grow everywhere. Like I've never seen like a tobacco plant.
Oh, can I mention? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go for it. Tell your story.
No, I was gonna say one thing about you were just talking about tobacco. I was reading something online, and I thought it was kind of funny because, you know, you do your podcast here. We have like 6 original shows currently. We're trying to bring on more online. But a lot of you guys have me either producing your show for you. Most of the time I'm a fly on the wall. But most of you guys, as like you, will engage with me and want me to speak on their podcast. And so the other day I was reading that the old owner of the studio
Oh yeah.
was like, "Oh, you guys should go to a real studio."
Voldemort.
Where the Voldemort, yeah, Voldemort was saying, we'll use that name. So Voldemort was saying on his post that you guys want to go to a real station, go to somewhere else where the owner is not like forcing himself on every show. And I was like, oh, okay. I guess apparently I just need to be quiet on all shows. So
No, John Miller did the same thing, didn't he?
yeah, he did, but he did it in a worse. Voldemort did it in a worse way. He would just walk in, and only if your show was good, only if you had like a really killer guest on, beautiful woman. I know one time he actually was like telling some girl, "Show me your tits," and it's like, dude, you're gonna get canceled before there was a cancel culture.
Right.
Yeah.
He had told one comedian, a female comedian, "Oh, you know what? I don't watch female comedians because women are not funny."
Mm.
And then she was gay, and so he said to her, "Oh, well, that makes you twice as not funny," or whatever he had said to her.
Yeah.
He was kind of canceled. Here, this guy is doing all this stuff, and he's trying to do whatever he can, but
Yeah. Did I ever tell you how I used to have a show with Luke? Remember, not Luke, not this.
not this Luke,
The
not
other
Luke Dower.
So yeah,
Oh,
we had,
Luke. Oh, you mean Luke Lockfeld?
I had a show with Luke Lock.
Oh, you had that one a long time ago that you would do out of your backyard.
No, we used to be on the FCC free. We lasted for like a month.
Oh, really?
We had somebody on who he was sitting on his chair. He fell and broke the handle of his chair.
Oh, I think you mentioned this.
And Voldemort's like, who the fuck did this?
You owe me money.
You owe me money. And we didn't tell him who the fuck it was. We're like, Luke decided, fuck your show. We're not doing a show here. And 6 months later, I went on another show at the same station. The fucking chair is still sitting there. Same fucking chair, broken.
Still broken.
Still broken. But he wanted $100. And it's like, I was like, what the fuck, man? It was an accident.
So these
But he wanted to know who the fuck did it. He's like, who the fuck did it? And Luke said, fuck you. We're not playing this
I
game.
went to a place where an office was closing down. So when I came in here, that was one of the things that was left by Voldemort was a whole bunch of chairs.
Yeah.
And they all looked like somebody literally jizzed on the seats.
Oh,
They were all, so they're all like either black or some color, but you look down and it's like, okay, that's more than just dirt on a seat. That's like,
Luke. Because Luke.
yeah, Luke, I don't want to talk
Luke,
your show, but yeah,
Luke,
I've heard Luke.
Luke told me he was like doing a show. I guess he must have been doing it by himself. He's
Yeah,
like,
he was doing it in the studio too, and apparently he was like diddling with himself, and Voldemort is watching him.
yeah, Voldemort's like,
And I'm like,
okay.
really? Why would? Okay, for one, if somebody was doing that in here, there would be do not pass go, do not collect $200.
Yeah.
You're the f out. And talking about charging someone, oh yeah. If I ever caught that, I'd be suing him. I'd be replacing my keyboard, my mouse, probably my board, anything they could have got anywhere near the seat, the mic, everything. Yeah. By the way, we do have security cameras in here,
Oh, yeah.
and I know Voldemort had them too. And so here's the thing: is he would be able to watch this? He
was
called me
watching-
originally because I used to manage the studio when he had a heart attack or a stroke. He had a stroke.
Yes.
When he had a stroke, he was going to close down the old place, and then he came here. He told me, he goes, "Hey, isn't this your buddy that was caught in public diddling with himself?" He showed me a picture of him in the morning, and he was on the news, and I'm like, "Yeah, that's up to you, dude. You own the studio, but I don't want to have any part of it."
So you got a Cinco de Mayo show coming up?
yeah. I got a show on Cinco de Mayo at Retro Junkie in Walnut Creek.
You know, I was supposed to be born on Cinco de Mayo.
Really?
My mom was too drunk on the dance floor. She didn't know. I was trying to.
You
come
know how
out.
our parties go. She probably started partying the Cinco de Mayo before, and she just
And
kept going.
You got one of our best friends on your show.
Which one?
Try and take a guess. Name.
Mean Dave? I knew it. I fucking knew it.
Who have you been blocked by this week? Me, Dave.
Dude, Mean Dave is my
It's
boy.
so
I love
funny
him.
that people that are. It's weird how certain people are just so oversensitive.
Yeah.
But yeah, every time I hear it, it's like, oh, Mean Dave blocked me. And it's like, yeah, join the club.
I think he's blocked me.
I've heard at least 10 people tell me, Mean Dave's blocked me. And I go, yeah, I wouldn't take it personally.
Yeah.
I used to fight with him on Facebook, but I didn't fight fair because he would write something about me, and I never read what he said. I would just wait until I saw something come up, and then I would add something. Like, I'm not fighting fair, like when I go to live streams and I see somebody on Instagram doing a live stream, I'm not really listening to what they're saying. I'm just writing.
You're trolling.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a fucking troll.
And it got me.
Oh, you're the fucker I hate. Okay,
It got me in trouble one time because Mikey Winfield was doing a live stream for Punchline Sack, and I said some joke, and now they won't let me back in the Punchline and Sack. I don't know.
So one thing I'll recommend, we'll do this every week. At least I'll do this every week at some point during someone's show. Recommend a YouTube video. Here's the YouTube video I recommend for you guys to watch. Go home, watch I think it's an hour long show from SF Sketchfest here in San Francisco at the Castro Theater.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Triumph the Wonder Dog. I poop on you.
Oh yeah, trying to wonder.
And so they had, basically it was like a Jeopardy game that they played at the Castro, and
was it Conan or?
The DJ was the guy that does all the sound effects from the Police Academy movies.
Oh, the black guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That guy's hilarious.
And then the host, who was the host? Oh my God, I can't even remember who the host was. But then there was like Weird Al.
Was it Smigel or? That's
Yeah,
a-
it was Smigel.
That's
it
the
was
guy who
Smigel.
does.
That's Triumph, but
Yeah,
he was
he does.
Triumph. So he was Triumph, and he was the host of the show. So it was Smigel. But the other people,
Was it Conan or was it?
no, I'm trying to remember. But
Andy
there was three
Richter?
panelists and one host, and then the guy from Police Academy. And I usually can only watch Triumph the Wonder Dog or whatever for a couple of minutes before I'm like, okay, this is I poop on you kind of shit. And I'm like, okay, I'm done. It was actually really funny, and they had written so many jokes based on the questions on the Jeopardy board. It was hilarious. It was really good. So I recommend watching that at SF Sketchfest at the Castro Theater here this year, 2024. So I think it was in Feb 2024.
Oh yeah.
So check that out.
I saw that they're doing a Back to the Future musical. It's coming next year.
Yeah.
There's a Back to the Future musical. Man.
Run for it, Marty.
Is it Huey Lewis and the News doing the music again?
Well, okay, so that would be okay, maybe.
Because they have Huey Lewis did the whole soundtrack for that.
Right, didn't he?
Yeah. That guy's still around. Dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn.
He used to be a good rocker. I remember watching.
He still is pretty much the same too.
Yeah.
He's aged well.
He's belted it out. I think he's done pretty good. He used to be, one of those hard-working garage bands out of the Bay. And so,
I actually had an idea for a show for YouTube, or even just like a regular show, like at a venue or whatnot. But I wanted to call it Roastioke. So when we have somebody, just a random person, go sing a karaoke song, we have a panel of 4 comedians that are roasting them while they're singing. And if you could make it through your song, then you get the whole panel to critique your singing or performance and whatnot.
I used to do karaoke, but my friend who works at the Mint said that the guy, the KJ, just said I keep screaming. Like I don't even sing. I just scream.
Well, some people don't even sing; they just talk.
Yeah, some people just go.
I do the Raspberry Beret song by Prince.
Nice.
Raspberry Beret.
Yeah.
You find in a secondhand store.
I'd probably cut you off too.
This is not your song.
Beret. And when it's warm, she wouldn't wear I don't know many lyrics, but or Personal Jesus by Depeche Mode. That's a terrible song. Depeche Mode is terrible to do on karaoke.
Depressed mode.
What songs do you recommend nobody do on karaoke?
I'll tell you the songs that I hate.
Sweet Caroline.
Sweet Caroline is definitely up there, but the 2 songs that I absolutely despise because nobody can do them correctly, and it's just nails on a chalkboard. The number 1 is Bohemian Rhapsody. The second one,
because they can't pull it off.
Not because they can't pull it off, and usually, I mean, if you've heard one drunk person sing Bohemian Rhapsody, you've heard all drunk people sing Bohemian
Rhapsody. It's literally a song that's built on harmonies with 4 great harmonizers.
Exactly.
And one really strong alpha lead.
Freddie Mercury.
How in the fuck do you pull that off in a karaoke?
You can't.
You cannot.
And then
you could barely pull that off in the Wayne's World car when it's perfectly produced.
Right.
And everybody's been, what is it called? What's it when they change your pitch?
Auto-tuned.
Auto-tuned. Yeah, and so.
And then the second one is Piano Man.
Oh,
Piano Man.
Just because it's 6 minutes long and it's 6 minutes of nobody knowing how the fucking song
Drunk
goes.
people love
yeah,
to
because
do
they
it.
just only know the first,
No, all they do is sing this song, the Piano Man.
Yeah, and that's where they come out of that one line.
Yeah.
I love the ringers who can, when they can really sing and like you can tell like sometimes they don't even bother to look at the lyrics. They're like looking at the wall, just
they're literally like they've been at home or they've been in the sound booth practicing for this one song.
I have one guy who comes in. I love him because he trolls all of my singers because he will come in and he will just do one song. But the song is 16 minutes long.
Oh, fuck.
Wow.
It's 1 bourbon, 1 scotch, 1 beer.
Oh yeah, 1 bourbon.
And he'll just sit there like through the whole like because it's mostly just guitar instrumentals,
right?
And he's just sitting there.
They let you do that for 16
1
minutes?
bourbon, 1 scotch, 1 beer.
What about Cucaracha?
And everybody's pissed. Get the fuck off the stage. He's just
Funny. That's
he's one of my favorites.
All right, so it's that time of day, folks.
So what are your plugs? Where can we find you?
All right, so BayAreaComics.com. Very easily, that's our website. You can see everything that we've got coming up locally within the East Bay and all throughout the Bay Area. We have got 3 big shows coming up. One at Luigi's on Friday, the 26th of April. Luigi's Deli and Martinez. We have one on Thursday, May 2nd at the Lafayette Town Hall Theater. Tickets are available at that on BayAreaComics.com. And then we, of course, have our Cinco de Mayo show, our Chicano Comedy Jam, coming up on Cinco de Mayo at Retro Junkie on Walnut Creek. Tickets are all available on BayAreaComics.com. Check out my link on... Check out the link on my Instagram or my bio to get to the page.
And your Instagram handle is right underneath you, Ryan_Rodriguez81. And anything else? Where can we catch your calendar?
On BayAreaComics.com, you'll see our calendars. You could also catch it on my Instagram. I post where I'm going to be pretty much weekly. For my karaoke shows, I am every Wednesday night at Retro Junkie, starting at 7 p.m. for trivia, 8 p.m. for karaoke, and Sunday nights at 9 p.m. to close at the Roundup.
Do you give trivia prizes? Or?
We do. We actually have a $50 gift card that we give away for trivia for Retro Junkie as the grand prize, but the second and third place prize are get free tickets to our Chicano Comedy Jam.
Oh, there you go. Right on. Chris, what do you got going?
I'm doing Danny Detchie's comedy contest.
Oh, yeah.
I hate May's Oyster House with I'm gonna be killing it. I'm probably gonna lose. I suck at comedy contests. And I think we're coming back at Cal's the first Friday in May. But yeah, I'm gonna do that shit. I might show up at karaoke and just completely bomb. But I want you to give me my $50 gift certificate anyway.
Hey, come through.
Hell yeah.
I'll give you the answers to the trivia
I like the Retro Junkyard. I've never been there. Like, I always think about going to the 49er games down there, but I didn't want to,
They have huge parties for the games.
Yeah, they got... I mean, that place is always fucking packed. I'm kind of impressed.
They have the big old Titantron outside.
Yeah.
It's great.
Because I used to go to the old place, and I could never figure out why they couldn't find an audience, because I really like that spot and stuff, but maybe they just had shitty ownership,
So you did have a couple things on chat. Who are they? What are they saying on chat to you guys?
Who's it? Is it Myron? Or?
It looks like you have a couple things here. First off is Vahe. Junkyard Rat is the best to ever do it.
You see?
Is what Vahe says. Let's put that up so we can see Vahe's comment. And then Luke Sauer says, Ryan got that big D.
Thanks, Luke. I don't.
Luke
It must have been in reference to something we said.
Luke is outside. He might want to ask to see it later.
You know what? If it'll get me farther, it's funny. I got a Instagram message from some anonymous dude that's asking me to join the Illuminati. I think I might do it.
Now is the time.
That is weird.
It is the season for the Illuminati. What do you got going on, Chris, next week?
Next week, I don't know.
We'll find out soon.
Oh, yeah.
All right. For myself, the Rat, and Ryan, we outie. We'll see you next week here.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All righty.
Thanks for being on.